So the second Chinese AK is my MAK-90, and you can see how I've debanded it to make it look like more of a traditional Type 56 with the folding spike bayonet. So it's pretty obvious that a bit of work was done to the front end of this Norinco. So this came in as a very standard MAK-90 with that thumb hole stock, no threaded muzzle. The gas block and the front sight was your typical neutered set. There no bayonet lug, no retainer for the cleaning rod. So what I did was I sourced a Bulgarian Type 3 gas block, as you can see, and for the front sight base it was a complete set that I had purchased from Polytech. And the front set wasn't cheap. It was a little pricey. I think I paid about $250. So it came with the front sight base and also the spiker bayonet. So that whole set was complete for about $250. The cleaning rod is also a Polytech, so I purchased it from them as well. And the original Chinese MAK-90 gas block, so when I say neutered, what I mean by that was there isn't this channel, see this here, as it holds this this cleaning rod in place. So the Chinese gas block on the neutered postband guns was missing this channel or this retainer here, so it would just be kind of flat like this. So with the Bulgarian gas block, for this Type 3 gas block, and the front sight, I had sent my rifle off to Two Rivers Arms in Oklahoma City. Same with my NHM-90. And what they did was they went ahead and refinished the gas block and the front sight. They hot blued it just so that they can try to match the rest of the gun. And you might not be able to see from the video, but if you were to see it in person, the bluing is more of a purple. So it doesn't really match the barrel all that close. They did a much better job with my NHM-90 compared to my MAK-90. But, it's fine. Again, I'm not too nitpicky about these things, especially for a gun that's a shooter. And this MAK-90 is definitely a shooter. So they went ahead and hot blued the two parts, and they also notched the retainer for the cleaning rod, because when I spoke to one of their smiths, they told me that if they did not notch this retainer, every time I were to fold the bayonet back, it would contact the bottom of the retainer. So they had notched it. So to show you how the Bulgarian Type 3 gas block originally looked before notching it like this, let's go back to my NHM-90. And you can see it there. no notch, and it just kind of just holds the cleaning rod in place, and then compared to a notched gas block. Let me see if I can focus here. So, I'm trying to give you a few different angles. Okay. And I also put on a Polytech muzzle brake. I'm sorry, not a muzzle brake, but a thread protector here. And I went ahead and I threaded this myself. So the MAK-90, it did not come with factory threads, unlike the NHM-90. So I just took a die and carefully threaded it myself. And I think I did a pretty good job. It's very, very evenly done. And as you know, all the Chinese AKs have a 16-inch barrel, and with a chrome lined bore and chamber. Of course, there is an exception with some of the other Chinese AK models that feature, you know, longer RPK-type barrels, and those are also chrome lined. So moving on down, my MAK-90. The hand guards are also original Chinese, and you can see for this particular lower piece it has the cutout for the bayonet. I did all the refinishing myself, and I just used a combination of, you know, Minwax, and I forget what else I used, but it was a combination of Minwax and some type of sealant, just to give it some extra protection against the elements. Especially here, since we live in the Pacific Northwest, it's really, you know, moist and wet for, you know, most of the year. And I do a lot of shooting during the fall and winter. And as you can see with the bolt carrier, it's this grayish silver finish, as I like to call in the white, compared to the NHM-90 that has that blued bolt. The MAK-90 came with this sort of unfinished bolt. It's definitely a little bit more rough compared to the NHM-90 that has that smooth blued finish. Let's see, the focus was bad here, so I think it's a little better now. But surprisingly, it doesn't rust at all. I've shot this gun plenty of times during a torrential downpour, and, you know, just driving back home 2 hours later from the range, you know, not a spot of rust or anything on there. And I do want to point out that the blued finish on the receiver and throughout the rest of the gun on the MAK-90 isn't as nice compared to the NHM-90. The blued finish on the MAK, it's nice, but it's just not as smooth or as polished compared to the NHM. It's kind of hard to see in this video, but if you were to see these two in person, you can definitely tell the difference. But other than that, the two receivers are identical. Function-wise, the internals. And for the buttstock and the pistol grip, these are actually American made. These are from Ironwood Designs, and unfortunately, due to the owner's passing, you cannot get these anymore. Quality stuff. I believe these two pieces are made of birch wood. So I just went ahead and stained and finished all the furniture to the same color. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how the bayonet operates. Let me see if I can do this with one hand and my foot. So it pretty much pulls forward, and then it's also, you know, it's spring operated. Let's see if I can focus it a little bit better. Okay, I think that's good. And it just rides right up like that, and it snaps in place. And it has a little bit of play, but I guess it's dependent on the casting on your front sight base. Very minimal play, but still very rock solid. It's definitely, you know, it's a bayonet not for cutting or slicing. It's just strictly for stabbing. And then again, to fold the bayonet back, same process but reversed. So you pull the bayonet forward like that, and then it drops down. So let's see if I can get it to focus here. Just like that. And then I'm going to show you some close-ups of the cleaning rod retainer. So kind of just, it's just held in place like this. And you can still take it out, but it's kind of hard to do so with just one hand. And then again, it folds. It just folds back right there in place. And it's pretty solid. Okay. And you can see that with the Chinese front sights, it has a fully enclosed hood. Okay. And compared to the Bulgarian front sight on my NHM, it's an open hood. And then again, Chinese, it's closed, which is unique to only to the Chinese guns. Okay. And there goes the piston, bolt carrier, and the bolt itself. And as you can see, compared to the NHM-90, it just has this in the white finish. You know, there's nothing's blued at all. Nothing's parkerized. It's a bit dirty. I have not cleaned it since I took it out shooting. And it also has a free-floating firing pin, just like the NHM-90. Internals are the same compared to the NHM. You can see the chrome-lined chamber right there. And this gun has just been super reliable. No issues. Just the same as the NHM. I've shot thousands of rounds of steel-cased Russian ammo, no problem. No, great guns. if you can get your hands on a Chinese AK, do it. You know, especially now since of all these political and social interruptions going on. And I just slapped on the Chinese 75 round drum on the MAK-90 just for giggles. But here you go, just a fairly quick review of my two Chinese AKs that I have debanned. I'll probably do another review on some of my other Slavic style guns, some of my other Kalashnikovs. But yeah, these two are, you know, just some of my favorites. Just great shooters, ultra reliable, and you know, I just like the look of them aesthetically. They look pretty good. So stay tuned, I'll make some more videos, you know, of us shooting some guns and maybe some quick reviews. Nothing too serious. Alright, thanks for watching.